Hey everybody, Ben here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up for yourself each and every day. So we are going to dig into an emotion that we might be experiencing and looking for a way to get out of it. We're not really uh, enjoying that process. Hang on here, these aren't the easiest to shuffle. Thought we had one, but it was like 10 of them, so we don't want that many. We got aggressive. Sure, we can look at aggressive uh, as an angry person and being demanding or to the point. We can also look at uh, maybe someone that tries to overpower people. We can also look at it as a place of fear. So we look at someone angry, we'll have to be open-minded if we want to talk about this. I'll say that right now. But it's all okay. We all have emotions, and uh, I say this and people don't seem to understand, but it all goes back to a wound, and it doesn't mean we're weak. It is something that happened, and it made us feel a certain way, and we create this umbrella over it, and then we may act or have an emotional response to things that don't even reflect that wound. So let's just say somebody that might be uh, demanding, or if things aren't going the way that they want them to, or they don't get their way, they might get loud and aggressive. If we really trace that back, did it come from a place where we didn't have a say in anything, and experiences or things were done upon us, and then we grow up and we're like, well, I'm never going to allow that to happen. So anytime something doesn't go my way, I'm going to portray this. We can go into that place of fear or uncomfortable, and I get loud and angry or aggressive, but really it's coming from a place of fear, or I don't have the confidence to do this, so I'm going to shut down any idea and direct the attention elsewhere, because it would show that I'm not confident enough to do this, or I don't know how to do this, and I'm scared, or someone else is doing something and it scares me, and I will react in a certain way to cover that up. And if we go back, it's a place of fear or confidence. The other thing was, what was the other one that I mentioned? Hmm. Well, we can just stick on those two. So we have someone that had nothing, no say or no power in their younger time, and we manifest as uh, overpowering. Oh, also, well, I guess that kind of goes into the other one, but let's just like look at confidence, like a bully-like type of thing, that uh, I need to extend my power over everything to feel like I have power. That's kind of what we already talked about. And then just the fear, the confidence level. If we look at the aggressive, I'm sorry, the opposite of aggressive is easygoing. Uh, Obviously, we can't just jump there. We can't become easygoing. I'm not saying to just go with the flow with everything. We're entitled to our opinions and to keep ourselves safe and to have our say in things. But this is more or less looking at these wounds. And again, if we have like an aggressive bully or somebody that is covering up confidence from this place, it wouldn't look that way. They've probably done it all their life, and maybe they don't even know they're doing it. We don't always know what these wounds they go back to. And we'll just focus on confidence and not feeling safe. What did take place? Is it, if we really walk back to it, maybe we were doing things and we were young and we were experiencing and trying things out, and we have an authorial figure that would knock us down really quick and not walk us through that, or actually be like a good teacher or a parent that is going to show you the correct way to do things and show you that it's okay to, hey, make mistakes and learn, and instead, smash that so quickly that, well, I'll never try anything again because look what happens, you know, as a child. And now it turned into this outburst of aggression and anger and frustration, which could be, just protecting that wound, but also going back to that childlike, well, I never want to feel like that, and I'm an adult, and I need to hold up this facade and present myself in a certain way that I am strong and tough or whatever, and I can do things, but that thing over there is out of my comfort zone, and I don't want anybody to know that, because then it would show that a weakness of some sort. That's a tough thing to get out of. We have to become vulnerable with ourselves and with the experience of the external, of what they're going to think. But if we put all the weight of how we view ourselves in the hands of them, the external, we're extremely in a fragile place. And we have to continue to wear that mask to support that false foundation or facade. It's That's probably extremely scary if we're in that place, because what is everyone going to think of? Because that's what I care about. That's what's coming through here. And uh, don't we want to be free of that? Don't we want to go back to? I mean, I can't vouch for the individuals that may not have been a good teacher or a coach to share the idea that, hey, it is okay to fail, because that's how we learn. Hands-on training. Sure, we could read all the books in the world, but it doesn't relate to actually being in those experiences and learning. uh, doesn't have to be just working with our hands or doing experiences, or learning poor money decisions or whatever. Anytime we would make a mistake, if it was squashed so quickly that you're stupid, you're worthless, you're whatever, uh, it certainly creates this. Same thing back to, I don't remember the first one. We'll see if it comes through again. We got the Three of Pentacles came out sideways. Collaboration and ineffective team. Going back to the authorial figures of just not being a good supporting experience, teaching, learning, uh, supporting and carrying through difficulties. Collaboration, depending on where we're at in life, how old we are, uh, friends, family, and or romantic partners. uh, Working on something like this is difficult, because we're coming from a place of the external is controlling me in a way. It's controlling me through the way that I see myself. And that is a difficult place to want to leave, because we've experienced that our whole life. So it's not easy to want to start working on that. At the same token, we'd have to be in a place to feel safe to do so. And that would be the people around us, which we are threatened by their opinion, or view of us. Like I said, it really depends on how old we are and where we're at in this situation. Who are we okay to be vulnerable with? If we start to open up about this or work on it with ourselves, that external is the scary part. How they're going to view us, but really we are viewing ourselves this way. And how we present ourselves, on the external here is our foundation, and that's very not sturdy. If we think about it, if a storm comes, a hurricane, and it strips all the siding off the house and all the windows, that's one thing with a strong foundation. But if there's no foundation, it'll just blow the house away. So we are in a fragile place to go into this, and to find a place to be vulnerable is scary. I'm not taking that away. But to work on it, or to get through it, or to understand our motives, or the what's fueling this, is a decision that we would have to make. And I'm seeing easygoing again here, and it's not like being a hippie and just okay with everything. That's not what I'm getting at. It is, we're looking at these triggers, and a trigger is the gateway to a wound. And when it comes through, we have a choice. And we only really know how to direct that energy and how to change our response and navigate this if we're willing to look at the wound and what it stems to. And if we don't know, we can start working backwards, because that's the only way we can if we can't remember. And that's the most efficient way, I think. It comes up, I got this feeling, I'm going to see what's going on. A Ten of Wands, overcommitment. This is given immediately the facade, the mask, being very committed to holding this up. And if we look at the original card, guy is carrying all the wands. 10 is the end. It's time to let them go. It's just coming into our place of being us. At the end, it's I mean, sure, it's easier to say it when it's over, but why do we want to carry that anymore? Why do we want to be something that we're not? Going back to the analogy of, like, if I don't know how to do this and I react in a certain way to keep myself held up because maybe I don't have the confidence or the courage to, or the okay to fail without massive repercussions, why do I want to allow that to hold me back? Got the Hermit, came out sideways. Introspection and isolation. Again, as I mentioned about, depending on where we're at and who's in our experience, this is obviously the best place to be. It doesn't have to be completely alone, but maybe we're finding ourselves in a place, if we start to take a step in this. If we think about it, if the external is there to, or it is at this time, dictating to us who we are, which isn't true, but that's how we're feeling. We can't really all the time figure it out or heal it with that there. So sometimes we go into isolation and we pull away, so nobody's in our ear. They're not reflecting, and we can actually sit there in our own space and navigate this, which maybe is scary at the same time, because they helped support this. A Knight of Cups, inspired pursuits. We're going back to, obviously coming out of this and just focusing on the idea of, not having a good leader or coach that helped us through things and taught us it was okay to fail and learn and experience things and whatever. And if we held back a lot in our life from going after things because of this, we're running out of the gate now. We're going towards something, but we obviously have to heal that aspect, if that's the case, beforehand, because we won't have the confidence to move forward. Confidence and the strive to keep going after a failure or a mistake. The ability to learn and be okay with that. Supporting ourselves through that experience. Death reversed. Fear of change. Letting go of this. I know I've spoke on it a little bit here, but how scary it would be, because this is, when we look at any shadow aspect, we go through life keeping it alive. We protect it. I always look at it over here for some reason, but these are these deep insecurities, fears, and we create behaviors to protect them, to cover them up, to keep them alive. And we don't want to let go of that. That's my facade. That's how I'm presenting myself to the world, family, friends, coworkers, whatever, society. And if I let that go, whatever I'm covering it with, I'm very vulnerable. I am at the mercy of its poison, if we will, of how it's going to make me feel into this wound. And yeah, we can look at it as a wound, as weakness, and all those kind of things, but it's just look at the triggers. Follow the triggers. Where are we getting an emotional response from? Follow them backwards. we probably know to some extent. We may not know the root and how deep it is, but we don't want to let go of that because we've experienced it all of our life. It's all we knew. I guess we'll do one more. A Two of Cups. Harmonious union. When we finally get through these things, or we're working on things that wounds, triggers that have held us back all of our life, and we may not have known it, or maybe we did from time to time. We are coming into our true self, our true space, without these limitations, limiting beliefs, fears, and it opens this door of a true, lovely union. Sure, we can talk about with people, but also with ourselves. At the time, we were always behaving or acting a certain way to protect this guy, cover this guy up, whatever that was, to get through, to get by. And this facade, we're always at the mercy of it. And no matter what's happening out here, we are at the mercy of it. Whatever comes out could hurt this, and I need to continuously protect this to keep it alive. When all that's gone, or we work through it, and we start to come into our true self, like I said, we merge in a way. And if we're interested in someone else, that ripple effect is real. And now, maybe we had bad relationships through, everything was a bit toxic, but again, it's all we knew. So it all connected, and it worked, because that's where we were at. But through this part of evolution, it really opens the door, and we won't remember who we are anymore because you've changed so much. I'm going to leave this here. If this resonated, feel free to like or comment, and I will talk to y'all later.